Peace TV English, the solution for humanity.
Time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, all who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward. Don't forget the oppressed. And when you go to sleep at night.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'a sunnatahu ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome again to another episode. And obviously I'm your host Ismail Bullock, and last but not least,
Ira Romani.
So today the main topic we want to talk about today is going to be about magic, kind of following on from the whole reliance upon Allah episodes we did, where we went onto the whole ta'weez and how a lot of these ta'weez contain, magic, as such.
And if people missed the show, they can check out the recordings on A Time to Please Allah on Facebook. Just search it, A Time to Please Allah, and you'll find all the recordings, especially last week where we had the whole video recording of the burning of the ta'weed and opening the ta'weed and opening and burning it after. So don't want to miss that. It was quite interesting. And we received a lot of messages after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we received mashallah emails and stuff. People were saying that they, made tawbah. We used to do this, but now we've left that because of what we saw on the show.
Some messages are very even scary, man. SubhanAllah, like people talking about being affected by all kinds of, magic and jinn and whatnot, and having issues with this, and even death in their family because of this, and so on. SubhanAllah. So yeah, we'll try to touch upon that, and we have today, inshallah, with us on the phone, it will be a brother, Muhammad Tim Humble, who has good experience, mashallah, with ruqya and with jinn and so on. And he knows how to deal with these things, alhamdulillah, I think. And he's also a student of Medina University. And he, mashallah, he has, because not anyone can just get into this field. Not everyone just can wake up Ahmed or Muhammad can wake up any day and say, okay, I want to do ruqya, or I want to deal with these things. These are dangerous things, and these are things that are real, and you need to have some understanding of these things. And so we'll talk to him and hear from him and his experience. So let's, at the beginning though, before we start into that, we can't ignore this topic that we wanted to speak about a little bit in the beginning anyway, and that is the issue of the so-called Valentine's Day. So even though the topics are not so related, however, we said that, listen, we really need to address this, is this infamous day that people think it's a very innocent day. It's a day of love.
Oh, that might explain what we happened to see earlier on, me and you,
right,
without any details, but that kind of clicks now. That's probably related to the evening of the Valentine's. I never clicked, because everything was red, wasn't it, as well?
Right. So, subhanAllah, you find that people are, usually when shaitan puts something forth towards people, he doesn't tell them that, here's something good, or here's something bad, and it's clear, categorically, you can see its evils, right? Actually, it beautifies, it's beautified, right? There's zina, basically it's covered in something that is very attractive.
That's what there's a verse in the Quran that says, زَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالَهُم.
So, like, it's being basically beautified. So when you look at it, it doesn't tell you, here's, a bottle of alcohol that's going to burn your liver and so on. It says, here's a bottle of nice, it's a love drink, a spirit, it's beautiful, you're going to feel happy, and when you put arguments forth towards, people drink or people do certain, those, they'll say, well, what's wrong with it? It feels good, it increases heart rate and circulation, and, they kind of come up with all kinds of interesting arguments or, things that make it, make the thing sound so nice, come on, you're extreme, man. What's wrong with you? And how come you're so strict against it? You're so closed, you need to think outside the box, you need to be very embracing, accepting, and so on, right? And subhanAllah, it comes a time where people start looking at the people who are doing, inviting people towards goodness, they look at him as like, man, this guy is way backwards and he should be in line with, what's wrong anyway? The day of love, and I think, mashallah, you guys, you and Brother McCarthy, you put a video up that I think was getting quite a lot of views. I think it was about 2 years ago. And I think we kind of put it up, we kind of keep putting and sharing it every year around this time, talking about the realities of Valentine's Day. And I spoke even to my students, and my students are joking at school, like, oh, teacher, tomorrow Valentine's Day, right? So I kind of gave them like just a breakdown, just thinking rationally about what is Valentine's Day and what's going on and what's the background, and whether it is just a normal day where people express their love, and it's just an innocent day, and how come we are opposing and so on. So what is Valentine's Day? Let's start with that.
Well, there's different stories of Valentine's Day, right? There's a story of, if I can remember now, there's a story of a Christian, a Christian...
A monk. It was kind of like a monk.
Who was put in prison, and then, if I can remember correctly, he cured a blind girl or something along these lines, and then she said, I'll be your Valentine. It was that kind of thing. But that's just a modern day version. So that would be, a reason enough not to get involved in it. But if you go back to the real origin of Valentine, and they would get together on a yearly basis in the old ancient Roman paganism, and they would strip ladies naked, basically, and they would run around. They would slaughter, like I believe a dog or a wolf, and I think it was a pig, and they would use this blood to, bathe themselves in as some kind of sacrifice, and then they would catch the women and, try not to be so crude, but they would become a big sexual orgy.
Right.
And this was how Valentine started. So apart from the zina and the fornication, the main issue here is the shirk again.
Yeah, and it's related that the pagan Roman Lupercalia, it was a god, a Roman god, that was, worshipped and so on at that time. And so it has that element of shirk. It's associated with the religious, and that's specifically when it comes to the date of February. And it's associated with that religious context, that, that shirk and idols and so on. So that would be from the get-go, from the start, like that, a reason for Muslims to, I abstain from that.
It's not even just connected to the idolatry. It's actually like an act. It's a sacrificing. It's the idol.
And the interesting thing is that by worshiping this god, actually the sexual act was part of the worship, right? And even more specific, the youth were encouraged and called to entertain this kind of behavior. And then it says that basically later on, the Febralis, which is another pagan god, there was a couple ones. There were Pan, Juno, and then Febralis. These were honored at that time. So you can see Febralis from February. Even when you go and look at the days of the week and the months, they're all related somehow to, pagan origins and so on, like Monday, Moon Day, and so on. Even when you look at the months, and there's some relationship to all ancient.
January for Janus.
Yes. So people can do a little Google search at the origins of days and the names of the days of the week, as well as the names of the months of the year, so you can see what's the relationship there and so on. And so, but yeah, what you said though, when it comes now to Valentine, the actual, so it's kind of like Christmas, and a lot of the other celebrations that Muslims always have doubts about, can I say this? Can I say Merry Christmas? Can I say Happy New Year? Can I say this and that to people, right? People are confused and they say, yeah, there's always every time these days come, there's all the whole debates on Facebook. And this actually shows, subhanAllah, a weakness in our iman, because if you're not jealous about iman and you're not jealous about the issue that shirk is being associated, and you're associated with something that involves shirk and you don't feel that jealousy for the tawheed, then there's a problem in our aqidah, our iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when the people say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a son, they attribute something that the heavens cleft asunder, Allah is so angry that the heavens, just for their saying, I forget about saying it over and over again and celebrating it and associating it, and forget about it, a Muslim, participating. Subhanallah, this is just for the saying of the disbelievers, or the people are saying that, just associating these kind of things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He gets so angry. Now imagine, getting involved with these kind of things.
We're going to go for a break now, inshallah. Stay tuned. Be there or be square.
Please Allah, a chance to gain reward I will spend on you, he says.
Marriage or divorce?
What's Islamic ruling?
Nikah.
Solution or problem? Heaven or hell?
There is a misconception.
You choose. Beauty, wealth, family status, virtue. Decide what you want. Decide your choice. Be sad or be happy. It's your choice. Join Dr. Zakir Naik in Better Half or Bitter Half every Friday at 6:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 9:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV. The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK. B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 132301. Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Dialogue. Discussion. Debate. Rebuttal. Conclusion.
Eliminate misconceptions about religion. Get enlightened.
Witness Dr. Zakir Naik in a battle of words in Crossfire every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12:30 p.m. UK on Peace TV.
A time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward I will spend on you, he says, on all who spend in good cause.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Yeah, going back to the whole issue of Valentine, which was, he was a monk, as you said, and he was, in some accounts it says that he used to basically marry youth in secret.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right, so that was one of the things, the whole love. Youth who could not come together, they were in love and so on, but they're hiding, and the parents maybe were not agreeing, or culturally or whatnot, maybe they're involved in some premarital things, and
I think
so
it was something to do with the rulers at the time. There had to be a certain way that had to be done, and it was very hard for people to do it.
Yeah.
So he looked at it as some kind of some rewarding thing to do.
Right, well, and now a lot of people.
That's why I think he got arrested,
right,
because he was caught doing that.
Yeah, and he actually, it seems that in some accounts that he himself, as you said, fell in love with that girl was the daughter of the person who would take care of the jail, so the keeper. So anyway, but a lot of people put the argument forth that, well, wait a second, I mean, it's different. Yes, it's origins, but now it's evolved, it's different, it symbolizes something so beautiful and so, so innocent, love. And I was reading an article today in the newspaper that people are complaining, even non-Muslim parents are complaining that their 11-year-old daughters and, sons are, they want to find a boyfriend or girlfriend for Valentine's Day. And, they bought red dresses and so on. So even, non-Muslim parents are like, wait a second. And the article says that, at our time, 11, we're doing this and playing or something. And now people are thinking about, finding boyfriend, girlfriend, that they're going to be left out. They're not fitting in because on Valentine's Day, they don't have a Valentine, the whole thing of would you be my Valentine? And so on. So what are some arguments that we as Muslims could put against this? Now, let's, obviously, from the start, the whole shirk issue and the whole origins, this is something that should stop someone. But let's, put that on the side and say, people come and say, well, what's the big deal? It's just about love. And what are some of the arguments that we would put forth, rational arguments?
I mean, first of all, no doubt the whole aspect of the shirk side of it. I mean, just the fact that its origin comes from idol
worship, right?
Pagan god worship, sacrifice into the pagan god. Like you said, every act of it, even the act itself that they were doing with each other was worshipped. I mean, this is enough. That's right. That's the main point that really is undeniable. I mean, obviously we know Islamically that there's no other Eid or no other celebration apart from the two Eids. But I mean, I would be very disappointed or very, well, who knows these days, but it'd be very shocking if we had to go down that road for them when we have like I said, we're established. And even many Christians, by the way, who will also say the same thing. They'll also say, don't celebrate Valentine's, don't celebrate Halloween, because they come back to devil worship, pagan god worship. So I mean, and alhamdulillah, we as Muslims, we are the real propagators of Tawheed. We are the real monotheists. We're not monotheists, inshallah, that just say we're monotheists, but we say we're monotheistic, but in our worship and our beliefs, we end up becoming polytheistic in many ways and many angles. So if other people who don't implement the monotheism fully, then are saying stay away from it, then how can any of us Muslims who, inshallah, according to the Tawheed, to the oneness of Allah, how can we then doubt or say no, it's not a big issue or that's not big extreme? I mean, that should be more than enough.
And not just that, maybe people have removed the whole concept of we're not worshipping anything, any god or anything like that. It's not associate anything with any idol. But the whole concept of how the original people used to worship, the whole, sexual engagement and so on, that's, I believe, the whole point of Valentine, right? The Valentine's Day, is that people get together and commit these acts of fornication, adultery, and so on. That's what it culminates. The whole day is supposed to culminate in that. That basically is leading towards an act of zina. And this is something that, subhanAllah, we know very well that this is something that violates the Islamic rules. And not just that, the whole concept of the institution of the family, the whole concept of love, actually, subhanAllah, actually contradicts love. Imagine that. People say, well, this is the day of love. What is love in the first place? People need to understand that. Is love just following your desires and your lusts to whoever, will you be my Valentine, and so on? Or is there something, bigger and greater than that? Is love something pure? Or is love something that is, driven by lust and by desires and by, just, self-centered type of, feelings? And that's the whole point that people are saying. They're using this word love, but it's such a cheap word today, right? People are not defining it. What does it mean? What is love? I love to do this, I love to do that. But what is that love, right? I mean, come on, an 11-year-old girl or 11-year-old boy to look for Valentine's, and we know what happens later on and so on. So the issue is that the whole concept of this, the sexuality and the acts, and these are all parts of these, this day that is pushing and it's being pushed over and over. Be it, what the places are, the whole commercialization of the day, right? It's all painted in that sexualized, way. And everything that goes with it, right? And this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina. Don't even come close to zina, subhanAllah. Don't even get close to it. It doesn't say don't commit zina. Don't come to it. So anything that would lead to it, as yani, the principle of fiqh, is that anything that leads to something haram, it itself can be yani, haram. So, of course, even the whole, well, it's not a big deal, it's just, parents sometimes they even say, it's so cute, look at that, subhanAllah, and then 9 months later, the girl's, a'udhu billah, pregnant, and now it's not that cute anymore. And now it's like, it's a headache, and, you have issues and so on. So this is something that parents really have to think about. This is something that youth have to think about. It's something that Muslim youth have to think about it. What's more beautiful, subhanAllah, and why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made the institution of marriage, right? And waiting for that special night and that special person and to really share your love with, not someone that you have no connection with, there's no, real, future, but, let's just do it and do this or do that. And then later on, one goes one way and the other person goes the other way, subhanAllah. Yeah, so this is the issue with Valentine's, and people really need to think about it, and specifically the youth, right? And I think, Ismail, you have children, mashallah, right?
Yes.
How many?
5.
5. Any girls?
No, all boys.
All boys, mashallah. And they're, I think, the
youngest is 6, eldest is 16 and a half.
Have you ever opened the topic of Valentine's with them?
I don't really remember, because even though it's here, but it's not here as much as other places. I'm pretty sure I made a point of when I did that video, especially as back then my eldest would have been around 14 and a half, and even my other one who was back then 12, I purposely made sure that they watched the video and understood that it goes, apart from it generally being haram because of the zina aspect to it and the free mixing and permissibility, I emphasized on the fact that it goes back to some kind of shirki belief. So I always make sure that, when it comes to any of these things, whether it be these kind of celebrations or whether it be certain kind of books or certain kind of cartoons or whatever it may be, which is actually relevant because we're going to be talking about magic. So,
right.
I always make sure that I emphasize them on how these things go back to, to these areas of shirk and areas of disbelief, no matter how harmless it is. Harry Potter looks fun to people, but as we said before, it's all magic. Even the words they use, like hocus pocus, abracadabra, they go back to this famous British magician who used to, who he said, I had to do all of the most disgraceful, perverted acts, and then I had to sit in a cave naked with smeared in my own, in my own defecation, basically,
right,
for the spirits to come to me to teach me magic. And he's the one who invented this hocus pocus abracadabra. We see Disney and we see everyone in the kids' cartoons. Hocus
and
pocus,
that's the whole point, though.
And it all looks so fun and nice, but these words are coming back from some guy who did the most satanic and most perverted things and disgusting things that we could even probably imagine. And he's the one who invented these so-called magic spells, but now they're showing our children in cartoons a friendly magician saying hocus pocus. But it goes back to some kind of devil worshipper.
Right. And this will leave Valentine's behind. I hope that the people have a clear understanding of what we said, and that they consider and especially ولا تقربوا الزنا, don't get close to it. إنه كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that indeed it's something very bad and one of the worst paths to take. Subhanallah. And Allah's given us a very clear explanation. And again, if you want to feel the the real meaning of love for this manifestation of love, but through a halal means. There's a way to go about it. You got halal and haram, and people are pushing the haram, and here's the halal. Allah is allowing you to, okay, you want to be in love? Okay, here it is. You want to satisfy your desires? Here it is. Okay. I think we have a phone call, and we have Mustafa from Libya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I think we have a phone call. From Libya. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Hello, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
Just put your TV down.
Hello, Sheikh.
Yes, brother. Just put your TV down, the volume from the TV, because it echoes.
Okay. Slow down. Okay.
Good.
How are you, Sheikh?
We're good, alhamdulillah.
I need to share a point with you. I mean, what is the age you see it is possible for the marriage? I mean, I have a friend, his age is 19 or 18, and he tell me that it is not a nice age for the marriage. Do you think it is the marriage should be for 19 or 20 or what? I need your advice for this.
Barakallah. Jazakallah khair.
Hello?
Yes. Thank you. Ismail, what do you think?
Good question. I would say that it depends on every individual, but the Prophet ﷺ, he encouraged people to marry young. He said, "O Shabab, whoever from you can marry, then marry, otherwise let him fast." So those who are able to marry should. For example, I married when I was 17.
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. And that is the best time to marry, because you're young and you get to, if Allah blesses you with children, you get to be able to interact with the children as if you are almost like one of their elder friends, rather than them looking at you as an old person who doesn't understand how they think, in many ways. So, I mean, the best thing, inshallah, is to marry when young. And if you can marry when you're 17, 18, 19, if the person's, emotionally and psychologically ready for that, then that's absolutely fine, inshallah.
Till next time, we wish you the best, inshallah. We leave in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is your host, Gabe Al-Romani, and your host,
Ismail Bullock.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A chance to gain reward I will spend on you, he says, all who's spending good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward, don't forget the oppressed, and when you go to sleep at night, know you are
The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading his message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK, B151TH. Pound account number 011323001. IBAN GB49